Hi, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 2110. Tonight we are celebrating Mother's Day. We are talking about the woman who raised us in a Mother's Day reflection. Yeah, the woman who raised us, a Mother's Day reflection. So that's what we're talking about tonight. So first of all, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there, whether it's your first Mother's Day, and I actually have a niece who is celebrating her very first Mother's Day today. So I am super excited for her. Or whether you're celebrating your 70th, 80th, whatever Mother's Day. It doesn't matter if you are a mother, or somebody who had a mothering role in somebody's life, we thank you. So not all mothers share our blood. Some were grandmothers, aunties, teachers, neighbors, stepmoms, mentors, women who showed up, stayed, and shaped us. Tonight we honor them all. The women who helped raise us, soften us, strengthen us, and send us into the world a little more whole. So I'm having trouble talking today. It's just been an exciting day. I've been sending out messages to mothers and my family and wishing them happy. Well, actually, I had to start yesterday because yesterday in New Zealand it was Mother's Day since they were a day ahead. So I had to start yesterday sending out messages to my sisters-in-law, to my mum. I actually got to speak on Zoom with my mum yesterday, and that was really, really cool. It was awesome. And my dad. Well, actually, Mum and I ended up talking most. Dad just kind of sat there and he didn't get to say much. Yeah, I'm going to be wary of that one when I get down to New Zealand, because Mum and I will get into our thing and start talking, and poor Dad's going to feel left out. But he'll have his day, especially when it comes to kitting out my garage. We'll be going to the what's it called, Mitre 10, which is a hardware store, and we'll be having a little fun in there as father-daughter time. But anyway, so I got to send messages to my two sister-in-laws that are down there in New Zealand. I got to send a message to my mom, wishing them happy Mother's Day. And then today I've been sending out messages to those here in the States who are part of my family who are celebrating Mother's Day. So it's been a great day. And then when Zephy and I went for a drive in the car, and we ended up getting ice cream and French fries, ice cream and French fries. They go together so well. I can hear people going. Yeah, so I got an ice cream cone. I got some French fries. Been having this craving for French fries and ice cream for a while. So I figured it's Mother's Day. We're going to go treat ourselves. And so Zephy and I got in the car. It was 103 degrees outside, which is about, I think, 39 degrees centigrade, I think. I know 38 is 100. So it's probably around 38, 39 degrees centigrade. Yeah, it was a hot day, but and cloudy. So we did manage to do that as well. And I got some sorting done today and through some of the boxes, and came across one box that was, there was a lot of memories in that box. Let me tell you, there was a lot of stuff in that box, stuff I haven't looked at in years. It included high school football schedules. And I had actually written on the some of them had programs, some of them just had the team lists on it. And I'd written on them, and it was Fairfax High School back in Virginia, and what Fairfax's score was and what the visiting team's score was. So, and because it had the dates and the players and all of that sort of thing on there. And then there was stuff for when we went to King's Dominion, which is an amusement park in Virginia. There was stuff from that. What else was there stuff from? There was just a lot of stuff in there. I mean, there was Father's Day cards for Brad in there. There was some of my birthday cards were in there. I tell you, I never throw out greeting cards. I found this really cool. I've even found some Christmas cards in there too. And I found one of my sister-in-law with her two youngest children when they were very young. And so I took a picture of it and texted it to her and said, look what I just found. And it was one that she had handmade and put a photograph of her and the kids in there. It was really cool. But there was just a lot of memories in that one. There was this one box. It was a big box, and it had a lot of other stuff. It just had this bag, and I'm going through the bag. There's a lot of memories in there. I was like, oh man, I would love to sit down and just go through. And I'm like, no, I don't have time. I've got to keep moving. So anyway, back to tonight's topic on honoring the women who have helped raise us. There are many forms of motherhood. There's biological mothers. There are adopted, fostered, and stepmothers. There's grandmothers, aunts, and chosen family. There are teachers, church mothers, neighbors, mentors. Mothering is more than a role; it's a presence. Who is present in your life? I would have to say that I have been very fortunate with my mum. I love my mum. She is awesome. She is amazing. She's always been there for me, even if she didn't agree with what I was doing at the time. She still stood by me, which was awesome. And my mother-in-law, my late mother-in-law, she was, well, put it this way. Brad always used to say that he was old and decrepit, and he was only 6 years older than me. And he said that one time while we were sitting with his mother. And I looked at him and I said, so you're saying you're old and decrepit? He goes, yep. I said, so what does that make your mother? Without missing a beat, I will tell this, my husband, without missing a beat, just looked at her with so much love in his eyes as he said, an angel. And his mother just beamed. She just drank that in. And I just looked at him and I went, quick save. So that was a quick save. But, she really was. She was a beautiful person. She had such an incredible personality about her. She had a lot of stories to tell. She was into genealogy research as well. So her and I had a lot of conversations around that. She liked watching the Turner Classic movies, and so we'd sit there and watch those with her. And then she would ask us questions about the leading actress in the different movies. Are they still alive? And we would pull out our phones and look up and tell her, yes, they are. No, they're not. Well, how old when they died? So we would tell her that information, or when did they die and how old were they, and give her that sort of information as well. Like, oh, she was younger than me, and oh, yeah, she's much older than me. Things like just little comments like that. But she was a wealth of knowledge and had so much love for her, and she just loved her family. And you could see it. And she was very proud of her family, proud of her 4 boys. She was proud of all of her grandkids. So yeah, she was an incredible woman. So I've been very blessed with my own mother and with my mother-in-law, and also my aunts. I've been very blessed with my aunts as well. My aunts are incredible women. They have always been there. They're great mothers themselves. They've raised some great kids, and now there's the next generation's coming on with the grandkids. But I've been very fortunate with my aunts as well. So even the ones that married into not just my natural aunts being my parents' siblings, but also the aunts that have married my uncles. They are awesome people too, and very, very appreciative of them. And then there's all my cousins who have become mothers themselves are just, I'm just very blessed for the family. I mean, my sister-in-law's in New Zealand. I've got 2 sister-in-laws there, and they are just amazing people. And one of them I haven't even met yet, but I already know she's amazing. So I get to meet her for the first time when I get back to New Zealand. So I'm looking forward to meeting that sister-in-law, since I've never met her before. But except I've spoken with her on the phone, and we text backwards and forwards every now and again. So, but she sounds like an amazing person, and been very blessed with the women in my life, the women that have come in and out of my lives. They're just amazing people. So anyway, we're back to this. So we've got what these women give us. And remember, these are just not just our biological ones. There's also adopted, foster, stepmothers, grandmothers, aunts, and chosen family, teachers, church mothers, neighbors, mentors. And under church mothers, you can put temple mothers, synagogue mothers, whatever that religious building is for you. There's always those mothering figures in the temples, the synagogues, the churches, and they're kind of like that mothering type of person over everybody, and they help organize this stuff and then get everybody organized and things like that. What these women give us, they nurture us, and they give us nourishment. They strengthen us during hard times, hard seasons. They are quiet guidance through example. They lead by example. They give us permission to become who we're meant to be, and they stand by us and love us no matter what. So that unconditional mother's love. The legacy moments, it could be something like you always remember that your mother told you a bedtime story every night. There was the meals made with love and repetition. My mum would always cook us dinner, and I just loved it. And in the wintertime, she would have the porridge ready for us on those cold mornings, and have the milk and the brown sugar on the table to put on top of the porridge. And I love my mum's porridge. She makes really good porridge. But she made some made really good meals and all of that sort of stuff. Even when we went on picnics, we had great picnics. when we went hiking and stuff. She made sure we had the snacks that we needed and the drinks and things. And so yeah, she did it with love. There could be a phrase that she always said when you doubted yourself. Maybe there was a phrase that she always said. It could be a letter, a hug, a look that said, "I see you." My mum, this is how awesome my mum is. When I actually called them the day before Brad passed and said, "I need you guys to come over," and they said, "Fine." They said, "On Monday morning we'll go into the travel agency and book our flights to come over, and we'll be there next weekend." I went, "Okay." And that was the day before he passed. So and that was the Saturday. And so I felt better having called them and said, "I need you guys to come over," because they said, "Let us know when you want to come over and we'll come over." And then I had to call them early the next morning, and I actually woke them up. It was close to midnight their time, I think. Hang on, when did I call them? Yeah, it was around 11 p.m. midnight, somewhere around their time. And they were in bed asleep, and this was really funny. It wasn't funny at the time, but when I look back, it was hilarious. It's hilarious. It hits me funny every time I think about this. So I called my parents to let them know that Brad had passed, and my dad answers the phone, and he always answers the phone. If you call in the middle of the night, my dad will answer the phone. So he answers the phone, and I said to him, "Sweet Pea's gone." That was my nickname for Brad, Sweet Pea. I said, "Sweet Pea's gone," and he goes, "Here's your mother." He didn't say, he just said hello, and I go, "Sweet Pea's gone." He goes, "Here's your mother," and hands the photo across to my mum. And so I had to tell her, and so her and I are crying on the phone together. And then since they were going to be that next morning going into the travel agency to book their flights, they were going to get on as soon as possible, and they ended up arriving on Wednesday. Brad passed on Sunday. They ended up arriving Wednesday. My brother-in-law in LA, bless his heart, went to the airport, had a sign for them, made up for them, picked them up, drove them down to San Diego to where my place was, and then turned around and drove back to LA again. I am so appreciative. I mean, everybody just came together at that point. And then they stayed with me for a month, and my mum literally took over the kitchen. My dad started sorting through boxes in the garage, and I had to yay or nay stuff. And my mum, she can pack one of those trash barrels, the trash cans. She can pack those things like nobody can. Like we got rid of so much stuff. We had like 400 boxes in my garage, and when they left, we're down to 90. And those are ones that we had opened up. I'd looked in and says, "Yeah, I'm not sorting them right now." So I wrote 2017 on the outside and knew that I had opened them. And so we opened every single box. There wasn't a box that wasn't opened. And we got rid of so much stuff. And yet I still have a whole bunch of stuff to get rid of. So them coming over and helping me through that first month was just incredible. That totally got off on the subject on that. So, and that story is that when she got back to New Zealand, she started texting me every day at the same time, just to check, "This is what we did today," and then I'd have to write back what I had done for the day, just to text. And there was one time I saw the text message, but I was in the middle of doing something else, and I totally forgot to go back and read it and reply to it. Then the next day, I was in the car and I was driving out to Phoenix, and I was on the I-8. Driving from San Diego to Phoenix when my phone rang, and I answered it, and it was my mum. She goes, "Oh, thank goodness we got a hold of you." And I'm like, "What's the matter? What's wrong?" Thinking something's wrong. And she says, "You didn't reply to my text message last night." She says, "I was so worried about you because you didn't reply," and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot to get it." And so we got all of that sorted out. We got that all sorted out, and she was trying to find the numbers for the boys to call them to see if everything was okay. And because she wasn't sure how to get hold of them and all that sort of stuff. So after that, they then had the numbers for the three boys, the phone numbers for the boys, and I think we've also given them the wives' phone numbers as well. So my mum's got her little list of numbers to call if anything happens and she can't get hold of me, then she's got people to call and that sort of thing. So, it's taking care of that. And what's really funny is that one time I was down in New Zealand, and it was around the time that she texts, and I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at my phone, and it's a black screen. And my mum goes, and I'm just sitting there looking at it, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I says, "Well, my mum usually texts me at this time, and she hasn't texted me yet, so I'm just waiting." She looks at me and she goes, "You're so stupid." But it was one of those things. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked on amazing stories, but we all have our own stories about the amazing women in our lives who have played that mothering role for us, whether it was actually our mother or we were brought up by somebody else. There's that mother figure in our life. Honoring complexity. If today brings grief, distance, or unresolved tension, your feelings are valid. I know there are people out there who this is the very first Mother's Day without their mother. Their mother has passed in the last year, and this is their very first one. Yes, it is going to be difficult. It is going to be hard. You're going to feel the grief. Allow them to come through. Your feelings are valid. Legacy is layered. Honoring someone doesn't mean ignoring the complicated parts. Do my mum and I disagree at times? Absolutely. Do I disagree with my aunts and my mother-in-law? Absolutely. Have we had words? Yes. But that's life. You remember the good parts, and there's times you're going to remember the bad parts. The parts you're going to share are going to be the good parts, unless there is a lesson to learn from the bad parts that you are passing that lesson on. So remember, legacy is layered. Honoring someone doesn't mean ignoring the complicated parts. So even those times that you had that miscommunication in there, and may have had that argument or something else going on, or something out, there was something going on where you kind of were at odds with each other. That's all part of life. Not every, life is not going to go through with nothing like that happening. It just doesn't happen. Even broken bonds can teach us something about strength, boundaries, or healing. So your reflection questions for today. And we are getting ready to, we haven't uploaded the hard copy to Amazon yet. It is going to get done tonight. I'm on a mission to get it done tonight. But up here, we have the Porchlight News. If you scan this QR code, you can sign up for our Porchlight newsletter. The second edition is due to go out tomorrow, and we're putting the finishing touches on that. And we'll put the finishing touches on that when we get back from our walk, and then I'll be working on getting the book uploaded to Amazon. And as soon as that is available on Amazon, we will let you guys know. So if you want to see our second edition of our newsletter, just go to this scan the QR code up here in the left-hand corner, and that will take you to the page to sign up. And when you sign up, you'll be emailed a free sample of our Porchlight Reflection Journal. And that's got 5 prompting questions and 5 pages with no prompts on them. So you can use these questions that we've got coming up, the reflection questions, to put in there. And then in that book, in the back of that book, there's a place where you can go to get the full e-version of the book. And there are 10 different prompts in there. Those 5 that were in the sample do not appear in the one with the 10. So you've got 15 between the 2. And the hardcover one, I'm kind of, on the physical copy of the journal, I'm kind of thinking if I might put some more prompts in there before we upload it. But that's still up in the air at the moment until we get to the upload stage. Anyway, so your reflection questions for tonight that you can put into your journal on the non-prompting pages are: who felt like a mother to you even if they weren't? So there's somebody in your life who was more of a mother to you than your own mother, or felt like a second mom that you got to have. Think of those things. What's one story, phrase, or ritual they gave you that still lives in you today? So think about what's one story, phrase, or ritual they gave you that still lives in you today. And our third reflection question for today, and these are written in the comments down below as well. Not the comments, the description. And the third question is, what kind of mothering presence do you hope to offer others? What kind of mothering presence do you hope to offer others? And in closing, our closing thought for you for today is: to women who raised us with words and without them, thank you. To women who chose us, who showed up, and who stayed, thank you. And to those of us still learning how to mother ourselves, keep going. The legacy of love continues in every small, ordinary, holy thing we pass on. And with that, we are out of here. So go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific, because I don't have my class tomorrow night. So we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, Conera.